happy astrological new year. I'm honored to have you all here celebrating with us. This is my 4th annual celebration. So super excited about that to celebrate. We're going to talk a little bit today about what is the astrological new year, what is the energy we're going to be feeling, a little bit about 2024 specifically, how to navigate it. If you have your alchemy journal, grab it out. I'm going to kind of talk about some things that are upcoming in the next week or two where you can take some notes in here, just as little reminders. So when we get to those dates, you'll have it in front of you. And yeah, we'll dive into all the things. So I wanted to kind of start out with sharing how I got into astrology. Some of you know this story, some of you don't. So I've always been interested in astrology since I was a little kid, reading my horoscopes and what it means on your birthday and all the pop culture kind of things. And it wasn't until about 5 years ago, I was really sick. I had mold toxicity and it was so bad, it affected me neurologically. So I was bedridden. I couldn't read, write. I couldn't drive a car. Absolutely not. I could barely walk. I was down and out and we didn't know what was wrong with me. So I kind of call it my dark night of the soul, where essentially I was laid on the couch for about 9 months and had to figure out who the hell I was while my world was falling apart around me. I eventually discovered it was mold toxicity after 9 months, left to go to Europe, went on a healing retreat to my family and spent 2 months in Europe. Upon returning home from Europe, my husband asked for a divorce. I had nowhere to live because my house still had mold and my job was really challenging because it was corporate and they didn't understand me being sick. So from that, I had to make sense of this chaos that I was in and I kind of got back into astrology. And diving into my birth chart, diving into my now ex-husband's birth chart, trying to figure out what the hell is going on in my life. And as I would start sharing this with my friends, and I'm like, oh, it's okay. I understand him now because I understand his chart. They were like, can you read my chart? And I kept thinking, yeah, I could probably read your chart. I've learned enough about astrology. And I remember this one day, I was in the back of an Uber with a friend. I pulled up her chart and I started reading her chart. And it was a long Uber ride. It was from Tampa to St. Pete. So about 45 minutes later, I had no recollection of what I said. And she was like tearing up. And I realized in that moment I was being channeled, which I never thought in my life I could do. I didn't even know that was like a thing that you can learn to do. And it was like, it opened up for me. It was this gift I've always had. It's very past life. So when I'm reading charts or even talking about astrology, I really feel like I get a lot of channeled messages and what I need to share with the collective, what I need to share with the person in front of me. So I think that makes it really unique. After that, I was like, oh my God, what am I going to do with this? I guess I'm going to have to use this and help others. So I started writing the Astrology Alchemy Journal. My first edition was the 2021. I wrote it during 2020, during the pandemic. And now it's been 4 years of this, 4 years of the astrological New Year celebration, and I'm getting closer and closer to making it my full-time thing. So I am just incredibly honored 4 years later to have you all here to be interested in astrology. Had I tapped into this gift 10 years ago, people probably would have burned me at the stake. So it was all meant to be in due timing. And I appreciate you from the bottom of my heart for allowing me to be your guide, to trust my insight and my intuition and my gifts. So I don't take it lightly. Here I am, doing the thing and being the messenger from our life coaches above. And so we're going to really dive into a lot of that today. And side note, I did go back and do astrology courses to learn more about the mathematical equations of it, like sextiles and squares and what that all means. But the channeled messages are still there. So we've blended it all together at this point. So we're talking the astrological new year, and I call it main character season. And we'll talk a lot of why that is, because essentially when we are moving into the energy of Aries, it is the most selfish energy. I want you to think of energy. When we talk about zodiac signs, it's energy. It's the way things move, right? And Aries energy moves towards you. It comes back at you. And so it really is kind of focusing on yourself, pulling your energy in, and becoming your own main character. So that's just a very big theme that we're going to talk about today. So I'll keep saying that over and over again until we all get it. So let's first start out with the basics. The astrological New Year energy. It coincides with the spring equinox. And I'm going to kind of blow your mind here. So astrological New Year deals with the sun. Okay, we're dealing with the sun. The sun is kind of the core of astrology. The sun moves approximately 1 degree per day around the sky, around the earth, around the zodiac wheel that we look at, equaling 360 days of the astrological year. Now, in our Gregorian calendar, it's 350 days. So to accommodate for the shifts every 4 years, we have a leap year, we readjust, it all kind of just mathematically works out. The astrological New Year, which happens this year on March 19th, is getting earlier and earlier because of the expanding universe, its cosmic calculations. But just fun fact, it is getting earlier every single year. Now, because we're dealing with the sun, we are looking at the zodiac sign that the sun is in from our perception on Earth. Now, if you pull up, I'm just going to say it like this. If you pull up one of those stargazer kind of apps, you know, and you look up in the sky and you find the sun is going to be in a different zodiac sign than how we calculate it in tropical Western astrology. So if you pull it up on your app and it's going to say the sun is in Aquarius or the sun is in Pisces, but I'm saying the sun is in Aries, it is a perception thing. There's so many layers to why we do it this way. It works. Everyone feels the energy. Just want to point out there is a difference between your app and then what we're talking about in Western tropical astrology. Now, what I want you to think of when it comes to sun seasons, and if you have your Astrology Alchemy journal, just remember that when you're reading the pages on the sun seasons, this is what I want you to think of. If the sun is in the zodiac sign of Pisces, for example, like it is right now, the sun is radiating and shining down the energy of that zodiac sign. So think of it this way. You go outside and you feel the sun on your skin, right? That's energy. You feel the heat of the sun. You feel the vitality of the sun. The sun hits your skin. That's an energy. Now we layer that with the cosmic energy of the zodiac sign the sun is traveling through. And so where you feel the physical reaction of the sun on the skin, you are feeling the energetic reaction of the zodiac sign the sun is traveling in. So I hope that makes sense. So why it's so big to celebrate the astrological New Year is because we're essentially today, as we're talking today, we are in the sun season of Pisces. When the sun transits and moves into the zodiac sign of Aries, it's the astrological New Year. Pisces energy cannot be more dramatically different than Aries energy. And after Aries season comes Taurus season. The energies are kind of similar. They build upon each other and we just build throughout the year. When you get to Pisces, it is the 12th and final energy. It is the energy of completion, the ending of all endings. And Aries is the beginning of all beginnings. So if we think of this as like a life cycle, Pisces would be like not death. It would be more like being reborn back into your soul, the ethereal, going back into the divine cosmos. And Aries is like being born as a toddler under 7. Cannot be more opposite. They almost don't connect. It's just like a timeline shift from Pisces to Aries. And so this is why it's so big to celebrate the astrological New Year, because we literally wake up and feel a completely different energy, like night and day. Now, like I said, the astrological New Year happens officially when we get to March 19th. So tomorrow is our New Year's Eve. I wanted to do this kind of today so that we could really prepare for what's to come tomorrow. And tomorrow, because it's the final day of the astrological year, and it's the ending of endings. It is kind of like that energy of like it's darkest before dawn. And we talked about this earlier today when we did our cacao ceremony and breath work, that we've all been really feeling for the past sun season, sensitive, emotional, wanting to like throw the baby out with the bathwater, like literally purge everything out of our lives, getting rid of friends, clearing out our closets, like kicking and screaming, laying in bed, like being depressed, wanting to self-sabotage, wanting to indulge in alcohol or medications or drugs or whatever. That's the energy of Pisces. It's like, I can't do this anymore. I'm checking out of Earth School. I'm tapping into the divine. I'm escaping my reality. I want to lay in bed, put the covers over my head, and cry it out. Because that's what we do during Pisces season every year. We're all feeling this energy. And so in your journal, you saw that I said, this is like, for me, I call it like crybaby season. Like everyone's going to cry more. You're going to cry more. It's okay. But ultimately, we're getting ready to be ready for the astrological new year. And we still have one more day left of this, the most potent day, the day where the sun is at its final degree of the year, throwing this energy at us. So tomorrow, I really encourage you, I really challenge you to do any final cleansing or purging necessary. If it is going through your phone contact list that you probably haven't gone through in like 20 years, go through it. Delete the people. This is holding energy in your life. Delete them. Don't talk to them for 5 years. Bye. Don't know you. If you need to purge your closet, you need to declutter your cabinets, you need to throw out the old food in the back of your fridge. Like, I don't care what it is. I'm calling you and inviting you to block out an hour or two tomorrow and get it out. Get rid of it. Make space. Now, I'm going to challenge you to get rid of something that you've been holding on for a rainy day. I know you all got that one or two things in your house that you're like, oh, just in case. For me, it's subwoofers that were in my Honda Civic that I bought over 14 years ago, and they've been sitting in my garage ever since. Like Mandy at 38 is putting subwoofers in her Toyota Prius. Hasn't happened yet in 14 years, ain't happening now. But why can't I get rid of them? Right? We all have that thing. Whatever we can cleanse and purge and make space for, there's this beautiful portal opening on New Year's Day that's bringing in fated and destined things. But I want you to think of it this way. The plane can't land on a cluttered runway.
Nope.
So if you have things that need to go, that have been, in the back of your mind, I encourage you to let it go in any way, shape, or form that you can do tomorrow. Okay. Now, I'm going to blow your mind a little bit more. The spring equinox coincides with the astrological new year, which is why I put this little symbol here. When the sun moves into Aries, not only do we begin the new year, but it's like the definition of spring. The equinox, where there's equal amount of day and night. And from that moment forward, at least here in the Northern Hemisphere, we increase in light. Every single day, there's more light. And what does light do? It allows us to see more clearly. It brings in more heat and vitality. It allows us to spend more time accomplishing the things that we want to do. It is a beautiful season that we get to enjoy for 6 months until we get to the fall equinox, where we go back into hibernation and we start slowing down and we start shedding and all the things that we'll get to later tonight. But it's the spring equinox. Now, did you know, so I'm going to blow your mind a little, did you know that the spring equinox date, aka the astrological new year, dictates the date of Easter? Yeah, Easter and astrology, believe it or not. The way that it works is when we have the spring equinox, the astrological new year, we wait for the first full moon, and the Sunday following the first full moon of the astrological year ends up becoming Easter. So this year we have our full moon lunar eclipse next Monday on the 25th, and the Sunday following on March 31st is Easter. So we call the first full moon of the astrological year. So if you have your calendar or your journal, you can open it up to page 23, which is the full moon in Libra, the first full moon of the astrological year. This year, it's an eclipse, making it a very important first full moon of the year. But it's called and nicknamed the Lenten moon because the first full moon of the astrological year dictates the Sunday after being Easter. Little fun fact. So, lots to celebrate today. We're celebrating the upcoming equinox, the astrological new year, Easter's coming in hot, all the things, but just wanted you guys to know that. Now, another little fun fact, because I love the details, I'm a Virgo, is that the Catholic Church, in their words, to simplify things, didn't like the fact that we were changing the astrological new year every year because the universe is expanding and there's a different date that the sun moves into Aries, and they thought it was too complicated and they wanted to keep it, like men, they want to keep things simple. So the Catholic Church dictates the spring equinox is always being March 21st. So this year, it doesn't matter what they say, doesn't matter what the astrological calendar says. The first full moon is the 25th. Either way, it still applies. We have Easter on the 31st. Now, some years, like in 2019, this is where it gets wonky because the first full moon of the astrological year happened on March 20th. But according to the Catholic Church, it wasn't the spring equinox yet because they say it happens on the 21st. So we had to wait for the entire moon cycle, another 28 days to happen. There was the 28 days later, which ended up being in April. And that's why Sunday of Easter in 2019 was at the end of April. Crazy fun fact. So just thought it's interesting to know, something you could tell your friends when they say, oh, you can't follow astrology and religion. It's like, but you determine Easter based on the astrological year. So like, figure it out. So lots to celebrate. Now with that, let's kind of talk about what's unique in 2024. Okay, we have the astrological new year every single year at this time of year. So I kind of want to start by just breaking down right here. This is a screenshot of the moment the sun moves into the zodiac energy of Aries. And we can see Aries here. I put a little box around the symbol of Aries and the sun here at 0 degrees and 0 minutes, the beginning, the birth of all things. So this is going to happen at 11:03 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on March 19th. So not tomorrow, but the following day, late at night at 11:03 p.m. is the official kickoff of energy. So when you wake up on the 20th, you're going to feel Aries. We are going to feel hot and bold and spicy, and we'll talk all about what you're going to feel in just a second, but know that's the official time. Now, today, right now, as we're talking, in preparation for the astrological new year, the sun is joining up with the planet, with the energy of Neptune in the final degrees of Pisces as we're wrapping up and ending Pisces season. Neptune, as a planet, as a life coach, teaches us to dream, teaches us to put rose-colored glasses on, teaches us to have faith, to trust the process, to trust the universe. When it is darkest before dawn in your life, those moments you go back where you thought, this is it, this is the ending of a relationship, of your health, of your career, of whatever you had an ending with. Think of that feeling you had at that darkest moment. You had to have faith in something, or you had to trust the process. In the moment you didn't, but looking back, it was like, oh, it all worked out, right? That's the energy of today. That is the sun meeting Neptune, where it's been heavy and we feel dark. But if you really tap in, isn't there this inner knowing, if you're aligned with the cosmic energy of like, no, I feel like things are about to pop off. I feel like things are going to happen for me. I feel a shift coming. I know there's light on the other side of this tunnel. That is the sun meeting Neptune, the sun heating up this energy of faith and trust in the universe. And this energy of like, maybe I just need to be a little delusional. Let me put on the rose-colored glasses a little bit because the reality I'm seeing, I'm not liking. I'd rather have foggy vision at this time. I'd rather put on these glasses with a tint of what I would like to see my reality being versus what it truly is. And so there's this dreamy faith and hope and optimistic energy of us being able to create what's to come with what's happening today. So tomorrow, you're going to cleanse and purge. You're going to get rid of anything that doesn't serve. Tonight, we manifest. Tonight, we put the rose-colored glasses on. Tonight, we work with the sun meeting Neptune and allowing us to get ready for what we want to birth in the astrological new year. And that's why we're doing the I am ritual. Okay. We are working with this sun meets Neptune energy. Very Delulu. So when we get to that ritual, I want you to be Delulu as hell. Have fun with it. We're going to create a movie of your life of the next year. Have fun with it. Don't take it too serious because being delusional is magical today. You never know what'll happen. Now, the other thing to understand is since we're dealing with the zodiac energy of Aries, with the sun moving into Aries, and you can see we have lots of planets welcoming the sun into Aries, is we have to look at the ruling planet. Who is the life coach that rules over the landlord of Aries, if you will? So any planet that comes to visit Aries, who's the landlord? And that is Mars. Okay, Mars. Mars is over here in the zodiac energy of Aquarius at this time. So the landlord is on vacation, and his vibes while he's on vacation in Aquarius dictates how we are going to act, how we are going to move forward, how we are going to step into the new year, because he is the landlord, the ruler, the dictator of this energy that the sun is visiting. Aquarius is the freaking alien of the zodiac. It is the energy of being authentic. All right. I want you to write authentic. Wherever you got a piece of paper, I want you to write authentic in big capital letters. Authentic. That is the only way we're getting through this next astrological year. Okay. Being creative. Whatever the problem is in front of you, I want you to be creative. Whatever you are working on, be creative. It is being unique. You are a body of one. There is no one else like you. It's you versus you this next year. There is no comparison. There is no imposter syndrome. There is nobody that's you and you are nobody else. I want you to remember that for this upcoming year, because that is what's going to prevail. The people that copy others, the people that try to do what others already are doing are going to be 2 steps behind. Because the energy of the future with Pluto in Aquarius and Mars for this upcoming year is saying that what will be popular, what is possible, what is to come, what will be birthed in society has not yet been done before, does not currently exist right now in this old astrological year. So the more authentic and creative and true to yourself and unique you can be, the more you can create the new reality that exists. And I see this a lot with entrepreneurs. You know, they're like, oh, this is how other people got famous, or this is how to build a business, or this is traditionally what it says, and how I should invest my money, and how I should retire, and how many kids I should have, and blah, 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 the stories of the old. That paradigm is crumbling. What worked, what existed, does not apply to the future. So the more out of the box, alien-like, authentic you can be is how we are going to act and move through the next upcoming year, because Mars says so, and he's the landlord, and he rules over Aries, and all the shit that's going to pop off in Aries that we'll talk about in a second. He's saying this is how we're doing it, though. This is how we're moving. Now, the other exciting thing that happens on March 19th at 11:03 p.m., the minute the sun comes into Aries, is Mercury, who's already in Aries, is entering his pre-shadow phase. So we're talking about Mercury retrograde. That's coming in hot. So let's all get prepared for it. We'll do a little cliff notes of what's to come. Mercury will spend over 2 months in the energy of Aries in 2024. Now, Mercury moves very fast. He's very close to us here on Earth. And so he spends about 3 weeks in each zodiac sign. Mercury is how we think. Okay. It's our messaging, our processing software system. And the way we think and the way we communicate and the way we share information changes depending on where Mercury is in the sky at any given point in time. But he only visits for about 3 weeks. Now, with retrograde, he's going to spend 2 months here saying, I'm giving you more time, more of an opportunity, more of a chance to learn the lessons and to integrate and speak and communicate in an Aries way, which is in my main character era, which is being selfish. We're all going to learn to talk and speak and communicate and express in a way that's authentic, that's unique, that's creative, but most importantly, in perseverance of the self, because Aries is about the self. So on the day of the astrological new year, Mercury enters pre-shadow, which means he is at 17 degrees of Aries, and he'll keep moving forward 18, 19, 20, and he'll keep dancing through the sky until April Fool's Day. And on April Fool's Day, Mercury, our little trickster, is going to start retrograding. And he's going to retrograde all the way back to the exact same point in the sky that he was on the day of the astrological new year. So he's coming right back. So I want you to pay attention to the way that you're thinking, the downloads, the intuitive things that come through. Pay attention to the conversations that you're having on the 19th, on the 20th, the thoughts that are crossing your mind, the ideas that you might have, the things you want to pursue, the projects you want to start, all the things, the thoughts, the words, the conversations, the communications with the people in your life. I want you to take note of it. I want you to take inventory, jot it down, write it down, put a little notes section in your phone. Thoughts I had on the astrological new year, people I talked to, because we're circling back around. We're coming back to that same combo. We're coming back to that idea. We're coming back to the contract we had assigned. We're coming back to the inspiration or the journal, entry that you wrote. We're coming back. But when we come back, it will be after 2 eclipses, after the lottery aspect, and after a hell of a lot of other information we're going to gain. So just to know, this is very unique. Mercury does not retrograde in Aries every year. It's like once every 4 or 5 years. It doesn't always happen on the astrological new year, and he doesn't start pre-shadow on the day the sun enters. So this is hella unique to this year. At the same time, we also have Saturn, our tough love dad, our disciplinarian, the one who's challenging us and throwing obstacles, and the one who is responsible for giving us all our freaking life shit to deal with. Saturn is also entering his pre-shadow. That's like a bigger topic for a whole nother conversation, but like just aware that if we ain't learning the lessons now, Lord Karma, Saturn is coming back to kick our ass and force us to learn it. So all the things I'm saying, do it. Or by the time we get to November, it's going to circle right back. So we'll talk a little bit about what we're going to be doing in just a second. So everything I kind of just said, I want to kind of sum it up, layer it with a little bit more information, and help you kind of understand as we move from March 19th of 2024 through the entire astrological year of all 12 sun seasons through Pisces season until March 21st of next year. It's gonna be on the 21st next year. The lessons we're going to be learning from what I call our life coaches, the planets. And just like we just said with Mars, Mars is in Aquarius, so he teaches us how to act. Mars is the warrior, Mars is the fighter, Mars is the masculine. Mars is how we are going to make decisions and take action and move forward in the astrological year. And since he's in Aquarius, we already talked about that. He is going to do it in an authentic way, in an inventive way, in a creative way. So that's how we're acting. That's how we're moving. Mercury, we talked about Mercury. On the astrological new year, he is in Aries. So we are going to think, speak, communicate, express, focus on learning things in ways that focus the energy towards ourselves. Remember, Aries is energy that comes towards us. It is selfish. So we are going to learn the lesson from Mercury for all of this year, how to speak up for ourselves, communicate our needs, our wants, our desires, put in boundaries. I want you to think of a toddler under 7. How do they communicate? That's how Mercury is going to teach us this year, all of us, to communicate. Bold, direct, say it like it is, ask for what you want, kick and scream if you got to, get loud if you got to, right? It's about me. And also talking to others in a way that's direct and honest. Toddlers under 7 just tell you the truth of how they're feeling in the moment. They don't sugarcoat it. They don't people please. They don't worry if their mommy's still going to love them or not. They just say how they feel. We're learning how to do that this year. And that's twofold. That is us to others, and it's learning to accept that in other people when they do it to us. And applauding others when they speak up for their needs, and applauding others for being direct and honest, and applauding others for putting in boundaries in place so we know how to act and approach them to continue relationships from a place that's healthy. So that's how Mercury is teaching us this year. Venus, thank God for Venus. She's our savior in this. Venus is in the zodiac energy of Pisces. And we could see she's right next to Saturn. So that's a lesson we'll talk about in a second. But Venus is how we love. It's how we receive. It's how we pull energy, money, material possessions, relationships, creative projects that we're wanting to birth into this world. That's how we're pulling it all in towards us, is Venus. And Venus being in Pisces is the most spiritual, compassionate, Jesus-loving energy. So the way in which we're going to love this year and be loved, the collective, ourselves, each other, is in a Jesus-like way, with passion, compassion, forgiveness, this way in which we just allow and accept. This is so important. This is a lesson we're going to all learn throughout the entire year. And when it comes to receiving, Pisces is a water energy. It's about being in flow. It's about letting the universe align you, the universe guide you, trusting in your God, your source, your higher self to bring it. This is not a masculine energy. This is not fighting for it. This isn't, running around with your pants on fire. This is allowing and receiving it and calling it in and asking for your intuition to lead you to the abundance. Big lesson we're going to learn in the upcoming year. Mars is in Aquarius. We talked about that. Jupiter is in the energy of Taurus, and Jupiter is our life coach that teaches us how to receive blessings and how to trust the process. It's about faith and optimism. And being in the energy of Taurus, we are going to learn this through creating our own stability and creating our own sense of security. This is about providing for ourselves. This is examples like having our own medicine kits, having food that we grow, having safety and security within our relationships, within our own lives. This is about finding your own sense of comfort and safety and stability in your life. This is going to be so important. It's something we're all going to have to learn collectively. Again, like I said, that you need to be your own sense of resource and not rely on others to provide you safety and others to have the resources for you. Now, Saturn is also in Pisces next to Venus. And like I said, Saturn is our tough love dad. This is how we are learning our lessons, the challenges, the obstacles, the way that we're growing, the way that we're maturing. This is a 3-year cycle. We already had last year, chapter 1. This year is chapter 2. Next year is the final chapter. This is very important to understand because you can see that we have Saturn in Pisces and we have Neptune in Pisces. Okay. These are 2 life coaches. We just talked about the sun running into Neptune. That is that dreamy. That is that delulu. That is putting rose-colored glasses on. That is trusting the process, having faith in the universe energy. That's Neptune. Saturn is tough love. Do the hard work. Be disciplined. Be committed. Have boundaries. Have structure. When you do the work that you need to do, this is healing. This is launching that creative project. This is all the things in your life that you have been escaping, avoiding, self-sabotaging, playing victim, literally putting your head in the sand. Saturn is like, nah, bro, I'm here now for 3 years and I'm going to challenge you. And I'm going to make you learn that for once, for 3 years, it's time to take our head out of the sand and do the damn thing that you've been avoiding for 30 years. Because it's been 30 years since Saturn's been here. We've already been feeling this. A lot of us have kind of gotten that little kick in the pants of like, oh, I got to make that doctor's appointment. And oh, I should probably, learn more about this business, or I should break up with this person. Like, what have you been avoiding? We're doing the work. And Saturn is going to continuously push you and push you and push you to not escape, to do the work, to do the healing, to move forward. If we do that next year, Saturn is going to run into the planet Neptune. Now, when you dream and you have faith and you have hope and you believe it's possible and you put in the work, that is the definition of manifestation. You can't just put something on a vision board and sit in your bed all day and it's going to come true. But you can't just work and work and work and have no dream, have nowhere for it to go. These two planets come together every 35 years. And they always bring with them this manifestation energy. But when we get to next year, right before the end of the astrological year, we will have the sun in Pisces, just like it is today. We will have Neptune in Pisces, just like it is today, but a little bit further, and Saturn in Pisces. That is like taking this delulu energy we're having today, but the work that we did throughout the year coming together with the dream and it manifesting. And when these two planets run into each other together, they enter into Aries together for 3 years in the place that the sun is during the astrological year. This is coming. This is the cosmic energy is moving us in this direction, but we have to do the work. We cannot escape. We cannot self-sabotage. This is the energy of people who, drink alcohol because they don't want to deal with their problems. This is us having a shopping addiction because we don't want to look at our finances. This is us avoiding the doctor's appointment because we don't want bad news. This is us not breaking up with people long after it's unhealthy. This is us finally doing the thing so the manifestation, the dream life, the vision that we're going to create today can actually happen for us. But we have to take our head out of the sand. Super exciting, super potent energy. And now when we look at your own unique birth chart, we can see where it's going to manifest in your life, depending on where Pisces falls in your chart. What area of life is this manifestation, the hub? But this is collectively for all of us. The last kind of planet we want to talk about real quick is Uranus, because Uranus is the one whose motto is choose change before I choose it for you. Because he's all about next, moving into the future. We're going forward. So he's in the energy of Taurus. So it's that same thing. If it does not feel safe and if it does not create stability and we're not able to feel comfortable in this situation, he is going to take it from us. He is going to remove it. He's going to move us forward faster than we know what to do this year. Okay. But that comes with a lot of blessings because sometimes you feel stuck. Sometimes you feel trapped. Sometimes you don't know what you don't know. And he can come in and be like, nope, no more of this. Like, you're uncomfortable in this relationship. It is not giving you safety. Oh, well, now your significant other got a job in another city and off they go. That's that Uranian energy. But know that if any shakeups happen in your life in the upcoming year, it is in an attempt for you to move forward into the future to create a better life that is filled with more safety, security, comfort, and honestly, just pleasure, because that's that Teresian energy. So these are our life coaches. And this is what they're trying to teach us this year. This is how it can unfold. Keep it in mind as we go throughout the year. Come back to these notes when life is happening or you don't know how to move forward or you're not sure what to do. Remember the lessons of the year. These are overlying themes. Now, of course, there's moments where there's different, mini lessons, but ultimately this is where we're going from Aries to Pisces season. Now, like I mentioned, Pluto's in Aquarius. This is new. This has not happened in over 250 years. This is America going through its Pluto return, a very destructive, crumbling moment in society. In history, most civilizations have fallen between 250 and 300 years because they were going through their Pluto return. Just like humans go through a Saturn return, we don't live to 250. Countries, empires, many other things do. We get to the Pluto return moment and it has to transform. It has to crumble. It's death and rebirth, breaking down the structures that don't work and rebuild them from the ashes. America is going through its first ever Pluto return. But for us collectively, Pluto and Aquarius, now that this is happening for the next 20 years, is asking us to really look into the stuff we talked about with Mars, being more authentic, being more inventive and creative and unique, that the structures of society and the way that they existed no longer apply. You could have tried to create a business 5 years ago, and you could try to recreate that exact same business now, and it might work. My example is astrology. Had I tried this business 10 years ago, it wouldn't have worked because we're now in an Aquarian age of being innovative, authentic, unique, different. So instead of people now going to therapists, they're going to mediums, they're going to healers, they're going to astrologers. It's just different. And it's in that every single industry is following this trend. And that's Pluto breaking down the old structures and bringing in a new authentic way, a creative way to move forward in the next chapter. So that's a big overview. With that, I want to go back to this Aries energy so we can get into our I am ritual. So we can tap into this energy. Okay, that was the year ahead. Let's bring it back to what's happening in 2 days for the next sun season, for the next month. Let's bring it back to the here and now. Aries energy. This is what the sun is shining upon us. The energy we're going to be feeling during the eclipses. The energy that we're feeling during the Mercury retrograde. Aries energy, selfish season. The energy is coming to you, towards you, for you to take, for you to hold, for you to keep. I want you to embrace and embody not only your main character, but your toddler under 7. Okay? After the age of 7, if you kept acting that way, society's like, oh no, time to grow up, right? No more kicking and screaming. You're punished, time out. Like, no, we got to now fit into society and be a certain way. But toddlers under 7 can teach us a whole lot. They climb to the top of a jungle gym, even though it's 5 times taller than them. They ain't afraid. They're doing the damn thing. Their ball rolls across the street. They ain't looking for a car. They are acting first, think later. Right? If they want that candy bar at the checkout line, I'm going to let you know I want it and I'm going to kick and scream until I get it because I don't care what people around me think. So we're going to feel more bold, right? It's the fire energy, more bold, more intense, a little aggressive. If you want it, you might just have to go get it instead of waiting for someone to give it to you. Determined. Aries energy goes from point A to point B. The ball rolls across the street. I'm going to get the ball. The car will stop for me, right? Like I'm going to do the thing. So whatever you have your mindset on, whatever you're desiring, whatever you're wanting, like get that tunnel vision, get that determined energy, channel it. We all have it in us. Direct. That point A to point B, direct. You want something from your partner, you want something from your boss, you want something from someone, be direct. This is the season to do it. Ask for it. Demand it if you have to in like the most pleasant way, right? Be upfront, be direct, and be free. That's that Aries energy. You cannot contain it. It is very independent, right? A toddler under 7, if they want to go to school in their Superman outfit, they want to go to school in their Superman outfit. They are free. They are independent. Like they give no fucks. That's what I need you to channel. That's the energy we have to move into because we are having an eclipse in Aries and a Mercury retrograde here. Like you're going to be challenged to feel it. So get on that wave, feel that energy, move through it. So some things you can do: initiate. This is the beginning energy. This is the beginning of all the beginnings. Take action, initiate, start the project, have the tough conversation, reach out to the person. Maybe it's someone that you've needed to talk to for a while. Maybe it's someone you need to apologize to. Maybe it's someone you've wanted to approach about a job, or someone you wanted to ask them for advice, or someone that you had your eyes set on in a romantic way. Act, initiate, do it, be bold, be brave, feel the things and do this. Pursue. Don't take no for an answer, right? I tried it, it didn't work before. I'm going to pursue it again. I'm going to go after it again. If you applied for a course and you didn't, try it again. If you wanted to get this job, but you didn't get it, try it again. Because what existed then no longer exists now. Maybe you didn't get the job before because they already had the position filled, and you pursue it now and it just so happens to be open, right? You pursued it again. Confront. This is a big energy of Aries season. Confrontation is okay in Aries season because you are focused on the self. This is your main character. So has someone done you wrong and you need to bring it up? Do you need to tell your partner how you feel or what you're needing from a friend? Confront it head on, bring it to light. Because only then can it be healed? Can it be cleared, right? Can we move forward? And this is time for us to start moving forward. Fight. And I know that's negative, but we sometimes have to put on our big girl, big boy pants and fight for what we want. Now, sometimes in our relationship, that's fighting to save the relationship. It's having the tough conversations and it's putting ourselves through the ringer and waiting it out. But we have to fight for it. For the things that we truly want, we have to be the Mars warrior, the bold toddler, and just put a little fire under our asses to get the thing. This is the season. And most importantly, be curious, okay? As you're moving through the season, be curious, be open. Toddlers under 7, everything is fascinating to them. You can literally show them like the cheesiest little toy and they're like, whoa, this is so cool, right? It's exploring life with new eyes. Be super curious. Something happens around you, observe it. Be curious, explore it, ask more questions, discover it with new energy. Maybe it's something you've seen in your house for a really long time and it just passes you by and you pick it up and you're like, huh, could I DIY this? Could I change this? Like, just be curious, see things with fresh eyes. That's even people in our life. So what we're going to accept is that we have to take the risk. Sometimes we just have to take the risk. This is a season of being a little brave. Accepting that we have to be brave. Accepting the harshness of this season. It can feel fiery. It can feel hot. As other people feel this Aries energy and approach us with it, it can feel harsh. People might be lashing out with their tongue, saying things they don't mean, coming at you a little spicy, but just take it as their truth. You know, they feel that way and this is how they're expressing it. So just allow it. Get it out, confront it, expose it. And we're going to feel the heat. And I mean this physiologically. Not only is the sun getting brighter every day, we live in Florida, we feel the heat coming in, but physically in our body, inflammation comes up most likely during Aries season. So if you are someone that's prone to inflammatory conditions, headaches, heat rashes, anything that is hot in the body, I want you to be very consciously aware of suppressing that heat. So I'm talking anti-inflammatories, you know, having your berries, having your turmeric, I want you to be, doing things that soothe your mind, soothe your body, bringing down the fire, bringing down the anger, bringing down that inflammation, because we're feeling this. And I know as we're talking today, you're like, oh my God, that would actually kind of be nice. I feel so wet in like a wet blanket. I just want to lay around. I feel Pisces. The heat's coming. So just honor that and, making sure that you're not getting too spicy in your own body. And lastly, we're going to embrace this main character energy. We're going to embrace it. So I'm just going to give you a couple dates. So if you have your journal, you can kind of grab it out. The sun season of Aries starts on March 19th. We've already mentioned that. And it goes for 30 days as the sun moves 1 zodiac degree per day, 30 degrees in an astrological sign until April 19th. Okay, so this is the next month ahead. This is what the energy is going to look like. We start out the astrological new year, March 19th, with the sun at 0 degrees of Aries. 5 days later, on March 25th, we're going to have that full moon lunar eclipse. The first full moon of the astrological year as an eclipse, Libra energy, cutting, clearing, releasing, letting go. Libra, relationships, which is people pleasing, codependency, worrying about the other person. We are cutting out people in our life that don't allow us to be bold, to be brave, to step into our main character, that don't value us. There's going to be a lot of relationships cutting, because as you step into your main character, as you start feeling all the things that we talked about here, the people in your life are going to be like, what in the Sam heck got into that person? And you might be confronting things, and you might be asking for things, and you might be moving in a direction of your needs and wants and desires, your dreams, your passions, right? Because that manifestation is coming in next year. So are you moving towards it? Are you doing the work towards it? Or are you letting other people dictate it, right? As you're moving into this main character, by this day, within 5 days, and this eclipse happens, you're going to start seeing the reactions of the people around you. And those reactions are going to make you eclipse out the people in your life that cannot come with you in this next chapter towards your dreams. So just know this eclipse, anytime we're dealing with eclipses, let's just say that in general, this is fate. This is destiny. We don't do much around eclipses. As we enter into the eclipse portal, Aries season, your only goal is to stay present. Don't force things. Don't try to knock down doors that aren't opening. Don't break up. Don't quit your job. Don't do nothing. We are just going to be main characters, move in the direction of what our heart lights up. But eclipses happen to us. Okay? Eclipses happen to us. They are external circumstances lined up in our destiny. Our soul's already signed up for it. We're just letting the chips fall where they may. And then when eclipse season is over, when we get to April 19th, then we pick up the pieces and rearrange them into a new puzzle that feels a lot better, that's in alignment with our next chapter. Okay? So just pay attention to relationships around the 5th. People are going to be moving different. Things are going to feel different. We just let it be. Then we get to April 5th, and the sun runs into the North Node. This is a very fated and destined day. The North Node is the actual ecliptic point. So pay attention to what happens on this day. There's a lot of fated conversations, fated meetings, fated opportunities. It's right after the eclipse, right before the next eclipse. So again, it's that things are happening around us. When we get to April 8th, we have that total solar eclipse. This is a new moon. This is the first new moon of the astrological year. Every single year, the new moon in Aries is always the first new moon of the astrological year. And new moons are times to set intentions, to set manifestation. It's the beginning of the moon cycle, right? The moon is at its darkest point. And from that moment forward, it can only get brighter and brighter and brighter, and things can come to life again. The new moon in Aries is always the official new of the new year. This year, it's a total solar eclipse on steroids, new moon on steroids, total blackout, total new beginning. Total eclipses are rare. The last one was in 2017, not in Aries, totally different time of year, totally different sun season, okay? But the last one was in 2017. The next one won't be until 2040, visible from the US. So this total blackout in Aries is like everything blacks out, you know, the screen goes dark, the ending of a show, and then all of a sudden the lights come back on and there's a brand new scene, right? When you watch like a play, it's what happens. The screen goes dark, the room goes dark, and all of a sudden it's new characters and a new scene and a new stage. And like, you're like, what the hell just happened? And then you got to get with that program, right? Who's this main character? Who's this person? Like, that's what eclipses do to us. So just pay attention, be present, but stay in your main character energy, stay in your authentic truth, stay in the direction, in the lane of what you want to accomplish and where you want to go. Okay. The day after, the sun runs into Chiron. Chiron is a wound. We're doing a lot of healing. Like, there's a lot of healing going on in this season because Chiron is our wounds, our traumas, our triggers, our fears. He has been in Aries since 2015. He's going to be here another 4 years. Like, we've been healing this area of life. Now on April 12th, the sun runs into Mercury. Mercury is going to be retrograde. He's backing up, heading back to the conversation we had on this day. But the sun runs in, and this is our Mercury Cazimi day. This is the halfway point of the Mercury retrograde. The halfway point of a Mercury retrograde is when the light bulb comes on. Oh, I know how to solve that problem. I know what to say. I know what to ask for. I know my needs. It's like, oh my gosh, the solution is here. I know what I need to do. This is a big day for that. And then the final day of Aries sun season is April 19th. Okay, so this is what it's going to look like. That's kind of the energy as we flow through the month. Whew, you guys still with me? Good, thumbs up. It's a lot of information. You're doing good. This is why I record it. Okay, so I'm going to go through this really quickly because I'm just giving you an idea of the energy of how it flows throughout the year, throughout the calendar. Okay, you can take a screenshot of this. You can take a picture with your phone. It will be in the recording. It's got more details than what I'm going to go over right now, but I just want you to see how what we start in Aries season, what I'm asking you to initiate, to ask for, to take action on, to make decisions on, to move, to start moving, how that manifests and how that grows into the dream that we're trying to create by the time we get to Pisces season. Okay. And this is just how I want you to see the overview, because when we get to the I am ritual, we are going to visualize ourselves in every one of these seasons in the upcoming year. Okay. So as we're starting out right here, Aries season is the time that we get brave. This is the month that we take action, start the project, reach out, initiate, whatever you want to do in your life and accomplish. This is where we start. Okay, we feel brave, we take action. Then we get to Taurus season, Earth energy. So Earth, we plant the seeds. That's what we do. We're going to plant the seeds of what we're starting now, put it in the earth, water it, fertilize it, nurture it, keep going, and we're finding the stability in what we start. Okay, Aries season, we just act. I don't want you to overthink it. I don't want you to have all the answers. I don't want you to research it. I want you to take some sort of brave, bold action. Taurus season, we're going to find stability, right? We're going to get more information. We're going to plant the seeds. We're going to keep watering it. Gemini season is an air sign. So we network. Okay. We started the thing. We planted the seeds. We're finding work. We're doing the thing. Gemini season, we network, we get out there, we ask questions. Hey, have you ever planted a garden before? How much light should I put on this? Oh, have you ever started a business before? How do I file my taxes? Right? Like, Gemini season is when we start getting the info. We took a brave, bold action. We didn't know what the hell we were doing. Then we started watering the seeds and figuring it out, doing the work. Then Gemini season, we get out there and we find the information that we kind of blindly ran into in Aries season. Cancer season, we rest, we retreat, and we nourish ourselves. We nurture ourselves. We get some self-care in. We go inwards and tap into our intuition and say, is this really what I want? Is it working out like I want? Leo season, the fire comes back in and we get bold. We want to get noticed. Hey, I planted this garden a long time ago. You want to come see it? Hey, I started this business. Let me post it on social media now that I have more ducks in a row. Hey, I started this new relationship. Let's make it Facebook official. Like, we want to get out there and show people what we've been working on. And we want to be more creative because there's the next chapter in the thing that we started. So we got to start getting creative. Virgo season is Earth. So now we got to get to the details. Okay, this thing came to life. We've been working on it. We planted it. We got more information. We rested a little bit. We put it out there. Now we got to organize it to keep it alive. We got to get the details, right? We got to go back over the fine print, write the contracts, have the conversations. That's Virgo. And that's halfway through the astrological year. We make it so far in just these 6 months. Then we get to Libra season. Okay. Now we get to the fall equinox where things are getting darker again. So we put in a lot of work for the first 6 months. We bring it to light. Libra season is where we start to find balance. Are you going all in on that relationship? Then 6 months later, you're like, wait. I got to find balance. I got to put more time towards my career and see my friends again and go visit my family. Oh, I went all in on my business. I've been working so hard on it. Let me take a vacation, right? Libra season is where we're going to find the balance from what we started from Aries season. Scorpio is now where we investigate, dive a little deeper, find more information. This is where, like, in a relationship, you're like, I kind of want to meet their family, kind of want to know their history. In a business, it's about investigating, the pieces of the business that you didn't know at the beginning. Sagittarius season, we explore, we find joy, we get excited again. It's like, oh my gosh, look at this. It's birthing, it's growing. Holy crap, we've gotten so far. Let's push it a little further. Capricorn season, it's like, damn, I've been working on this for 10 months. Let me keep going because I'm getting exhausted. I am rolling a ball uphill. I don't know how long I can do this, but this is where we start building structures. We look at the foundation. We keep putting in the work. Aquarius, now it's like, oh my gosh, I've been doing all the things. If I want to keep this going, I have to solve problems and I have to start thinking outside the box. And how am I going to keep this going? Do I still want this, right? We're now thinking all the things. And then we get to Pisces season where we have our annual cleanse, purge, and release. This project I started, this business I started, this job I started, this relationship I started, all the things I bought and accumulated. Do I still love them? Do I still want them? Or do I need to cleanse and purge? And then we start all over again when we get to Aries season. That's the energy. That's how we move through things in our life, in our year, aligning it with the cosmos. So there's a time and a space for each season. So with that, we are going to dive into our I am ritual. Okay. And what this is going to look like is you have your piece of paper. And this is the last thing that we're going to do tonight. So what I want you to do at the top of your piece of paper, I want you to draw a figure of you. You can dress it up. You can just make it a stick. I don't care. Be creative. Again, we are getting Delulu. So if you want to draw yourself with a big booty and wild hair, like, you draw you, okay? You are the main character of the story we're going to create in this ritual, okay? And I'm going to play the sound bowls just for a moment, just for about a minute. And as you're drawing your figure, I want you to kind of come to yourself, come inwards. We're going to do a lot of visualization, a lot of writing as we see ourselves moving through the next astrological year and envisioning how we want to show up in this story that we get to create. Okay. So you're going to just take your deep breaths, draw your figure, tap into yourself. I want you to forget the stories of how you should be, who you should be, what other people wish you would be, who future you thinks you should be, who your childhood you thinks you should be. Just be, because we're going to get Delulu and we're going to create. And when you're done drawing your figure, I want you to just close your eyes. Just take a deep breath. And feel yourself just grounding in this moment and just seeing the image of what you drew in front of you. See it coming to life. I am. What do you look like from your perspective? What do you look like from your higher perspective? How are you moving? How are you looking? See that main character. And don't compare it to who you are right now. Just see the main character. And I'm going to give you these prompts. I'm going to give you about 90 seconds to fill out the prompt, and you can come back to it. I really encourage you, if you don't get everything out in the 90 seconds, you have the prompts. Take time to think about it. You have today, you have tomorrow. You can build on this story. You can add more details to this story. We have time before the astrological new year kicks off. But right now, we are going to start seeing the story, the plot unfold. So the first journal prompt is I am bold in the upcoming astrological year. I am bold. I want you to write down, jot it down, whether it's sentences or words or even an image if you want to draw something. When you think of I am bold in this upcoming year, what does that mean to you? I am bold. Your main character, when your main character is bold, what does that mean to you? What does that look like? Be Delulu. Okay, I know your brains are already thinking logically. Be Delulu. What is bold main character you doing in the upcoming year? What actions are you taking? Where are you going? I am bold. Now, when you're done with that, we're going to move into the Taurus season. Okay, when we get to Taurus season, we are in Earth. We are getting practical. We are finding stability. We are watering the seeds that we plant. So, in order to do that, we have to know our worth. So, I am worthy of. Okay, what does that mean to the main character? As the main character steps into their worth, what does that look like? What does that mean? See yourself worthy of what? Be Delulu. When you think of worthy, Taurus season deals a lot with pleasure. So don't forget to include the things that bring you pleasure. What smells good, what tastes good, what feels good. Being worthy of all the things that infuse pleasure into your life. When you're done with that, we're going to move into Gemini season. Gemini is an air sign. It's a social butterfly. It gathers information. It is extremely intelligent. So I want you to see your main character. I am intelligent. Your main character, what are they intelligent about? How do they know they're intelligent? How do they share their intelligence? This main character on stage for the next year. I am intelligent. Be Delulu. Are there things you don't know yet? What are you going to know in this next year? What information are we going to gather? Remembering that in this upcoming year, our intelligence, how we're receiving, is coming from divine source. It's coming from our intuition. Venus bringing us abundance through the messages from our higher self. The innate wisdom we already have. So as you think of I am intelligent, you have the connection to all the cosmic information. So what one is your main character going to tap into? What information is going to be channeled through you, is going to come to you with ease and with flow. It's going to be flooded in your mind like you woke up one morning and all of that information was imprinted into your mind. What does that main character have? And we're going to go into Cancer season. I am safe. Your main character is safe. What does safety mean to you in the upcoming year? Your main character, if your main character felt safe as fuck, why do they feel safe? What makes them feel safe? What do they have around them? What does the scene look like with your main character of the next year when it feels safe? I am safe. I am safe from what? I am safe because whatever comes to your mind, let that channel through, see it. We're going to move into Leo season. Leo is the lion, the lioness, bold, brave on stage, roaring loud, wanting to be seen, wanting to be heard, shining so freaking bright like the sun. So I am beautiful. I am beautiful in this upcoming year. What does that look like? What does that feel like? What are you wearing? How are you dressing? What are you wearing to bed? What kind of pajamas? How are you showing up to the world? I am beautiful. Be Delulu, right? You are on center stage. You are the main character. Like, Everything that you are creating, everything you are writing down exists on another plane. It's not about the 3D reality. It's not about what you're seeing in the mirror. This is like what exists on another dimension, on another level, and another timeline. And it's all happening now. We're going to move into Virgo season. Virgo is an earth sign, so it's about creating systems and making things precise and looking at the finest, tiniest little details in a pursuit of perfection. So I want you to write, I am perfect. Because this main character is perfect as she or he is. So I am perfect. Fill in that prompt. Perfect because, perfect through different things. How am I perfect? All right, and when you're done with that, we're going to move, we're halfway through the year, halfway through our creation. So we're going to move to Libra season. I call it soulmate season. It's where we connect with others. It's where we find our balance and our rhythm. And it's where we have and experience love. So I am loved. When this main character that you see in your mind is loved, what does that look like? On a stage, in a movie, of the year ahead, I am loved. What does that look like? What does that feel like? What is your main character loved for? When you're moving down with that one, this one we are going to have some fun with. This is Scorpio season. This is mystery. This is intimacy. This is diving below the surface. And it is a time to feel sexy like the scorpionic energy. So I am sexy. I want you to think that dark moon Lilith, that goddess energy, the phoenix rising from the ashes. I am sexy. That main character, what does that look like? What is that sex appeal? What is that feeling? What is that main character of you doing in the next upcoming year? I am sexy. What does it mean? Reminding yourself that you are. This is that birthright of every main character to feel that energy. Then we move into Sagittarius season. This is where life feels fun and optimistic. We're exploring things. It's the sun season that leads us into Christmas. So think of the holiday spirit, right? We all become little toddlers and have the best time ever. So it's our time to be fearless. So as your main character moves through the year, how are they fearless? I am fearless. What does that mean? What does that look like? When you're done with that, we're going to move into Capricorn season. This is where we remember we put in the hard work and we stay committed and we're disciplined and we're capable of overcoming any obstacle. We're capable of climbing the mountain of our dreams. I am capable. How does your main character show up in a way that shows that you are capable? What does that mean to you to be capable? I am capable. As you kind of move through that, we're going to look at Aquarius season. This is where we get to be authentic, our unique little alien, get to do things in our own way and be creative. So your main character is unique, one of a kind. I am unique. How does that look? What does that mean? What makes them unique? Reminding yourself how you are a product of one. What makes your main character unique? And then the last one is our Pisces season, our connection to our higher self. So I am divine. That piece of your main character that trusts their intuition, that sees the higher perspective. You are divine. What does that mean? How does that feel? How does that look like in your upcoming year? I am divine. I am divine. I'm going to go back to the last screen for anyone that wants to take a screenshot or a photo of it. Come back to these prompts. You can put them on post-it notes during each of the sun seasons, putting it on your mirror during Aries season. I am bold, to remind you. Taurus season, I am worthy. Gemini season, I am intelligent. And so on throughout the astrological year, reminding yourself. And I invite you to kind of move through these the next couple days, elaborate on them, immerse yourself, feel into them. So then we're getting into the exciting things, the announcement and the giveaways. So let's start out with the announcement. This is so exciting and I can't wait to kind of dive in a little bit deeper on this. So this is something I've been working on for the last month, putting it together. I get messages from people every day that are like, what the hell is going on today? Everyone's in a fight. This and this happened. What's going on? So I thought, why not create a way for me to be in your ears every morning to guide you through the astro weather? And I wasn't sure what that was going to look like, if I was going to do it on Facebook or, some other platform. And I thought, I just need to do it like to a text message. So you can just wake up on your phone and there's a nice voice memo for me telling you what's in the stars for today, how to navigate it. And so it's going to be on Telegram. So I don't know if anyone uses Telegram. You can download the app. It's free. It's going to be called our Astro Weather Channel. And every single morning, I will be popping into your ears to give you a voice memo anywhere from 3 to 5 minutes long. I'll try to keep them short because not everyone has time in the morning. But this is my way to kind of show up and connect and help guide you every single day. And so for anyone that's on today, I'm going to launch it tomorrow. It's official. I'll put the link in the chat as well for like the actual link to the landing page. Starting tomorrow, the astro forecast will be there every morning. I'm going to do moon rituals, a little bit of astrology education, channeled messages. It's just like my beautiful way to help you guys move through this energy. And I thought starting it during Aries season will be absolutely beautiful. That last little bit of wisdom, insight, go manifest, step into your main character. You all have it in you. There's so much that can come of the year ahead. Also, trust and honor that what's happening during eclipse season and the ecliptic portal is meant to happen. Good, bad, ugly, whatever. Just let the chips fall where they may. By the time we get to 420, you know, we have the lottery aspect in the sky. I'm not going to go into it now. You'll see so much more of my content talk about it, but lots of good things coming by the end of April and into May. So we're just going to make it through. Make sure you tune in my YouTube channel. I have a bunch of videos coming out. I have the new moon in Aries, the eclipse videos, the Mercury retrograde, the April forecast, all the things. And the last thing I just want to share about the Telegram channel, if you need